with and after that we raise our commitment by getting certified with ISO 50001 and publish the first annual sustainability report in UN Global Compact official website. And after the successful implementation of energy management system, CPEC took the great opportunity to share its knowledge and experience. And in order to enlarge its to enlarge its role in industrial energy efficiency towards energy efficiency is our success in our in our processes and in our other sister companies who are talking the same technical language and working in the same sector. During the last 3 years, we joined to several initiatives. We participated in SDG Ambition Accelerator, supported by UN Global Compact, and joined to Science-Based Target Initiative, and hired TBC as a consultant in energy efficiency in order to develop a roadmap for saving, for energy saving and greenhouse gases reduction. And considering to put this roadmap into practice by implementing as soon as possible the opportunities for improvement and the financing as appropriate the high capex projects. So, what are the objectives of our project? The number one is to maximize project profitability. In a short term, we have an objective to save not less than 10% of our energy bill, amounting about 40 Egyptian million pounds per year. The second one is to develop the strategic energy master plan by defining an energy conservation strategy. Number three, to take the first step in digital transformation. We have an objective and vision for medium to long term to lead the oil and gas sector in Egypt in terms of energy efficiency, performance, and digital transformation. Of course, the most important one is to mitigate climate change. Let's turn to the TBC overall solution approach, contains of specific elements within different phases, but to fulfill the objective of the CETIC and its requirement with minimum investment. TBC customized this approach to highlight area and to highlight initiatives with the highest value, have positive impact and associated deliverables. And of course, as they each phase, CETIC had an opportunity to evaluate the progress made against agreed scope and the deliverables, as well as to take the suitable actions and decisions on proceeding to the subsequent phases. I would like to highlight the main steps of our roadmap. We developed benchmarking analysis, established utility modeling using one of software, BetoSail software, simulation software, perform gap analysis, and identify risk of opportunities. And the most important one is to construct our roadmap, which helped us to understand which projects from the opportunity list should be implemented, how and when, depending on capital investment, depending on payback time and ease of implementation. Also, TBC provided us with technical support during the project to implement two of the quick wins projects, and we actually saved about more than 15 million Egyptian pounds per year from only two projects. Of course, depending on the condition of COVID-19, we conducted this project either remotely or on site during 2020 and 2021. As you see here, you can overview the construction of our roadmap, starting from our base case. Our best technology percent was 182, and this locates our site among other petrochemical sites evaluated by PBC in the fourth quartile. And if we could implement the different categories of opportunities, between medium cost and high capex project, the expected saving shall be 150 million Egyptian pounds per year. And our BT% shall be reduced to 137, move our location from fourth quartile to the second quartile. And then overall expected greenhouse gas reduction can exceed 100 kiloton of carbon dioxide, equivalent to about 22% from our baseline. We can highlight some figures from the strategic energy review project. About 26 of identified feasible opportunities, screening from over 100 opportunities. Estimated greenhouse gas reduction from these 26 opportunities shall exceed 100 kilotons CO2, and we already achieved about 4.2 in greenhouse gas reduction from these opportunities. Also, we well trained about 39 of employees on the BetroSim simulation software, and we are proceeding to train more than people. And now we are proceeding to implement one of high capex projects in about 45 kilotons CO2 in the reduction of greenhouse gases, and to about 10% of our baseline. This project named combined heat and power project. Now I finished the first part of presentation. Thank you all for your attention.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to our side event. At this part of our short presentation, we will shed more light specifically and briefly on two high investment capex projects, which represent important outcomes from the strategic energy review roadmap, and at the same time, they represent important outcomes of the cooperation with EPAP, the Egyptian Pollution Abatement Program. Both projects are mostly financed by EPAP 3. The first project to focus on today is the project of CHP, or Combined Heat and Power Project. This project has the major capex or capital investment among all the opportunities and projects developed from the strategic energy review, with about 15 million euros. At the same time, it has the most contribution to the reduction of greenhouse gases by about 45 kilotons CO2 per year. Actually, this project aims to generate about 7.5 megawatt of electrical power to supply our plant loads, and at the same time, it aims to generate about 50 ton of 50 ton per hour of high pressure steam required for our processes. Due to its high efficiency, it will be able to save about 70 million Egyptian pounds per year in terms of our energy cost. And as previously mentioned, it will be able to reduce about 45 kiloton CO2 per year. So, what are the main components of a CHP unit? CHP stands for Combined Heat and Power. Its main components are a gas turbine generator, which is fed by natural gas to generate electrical power, and the resultant exhaust is fed to an HRSG in addition to supplementary firing to generate steam, to recover heat and generate steam required for the processes. The key factor here is the high efficiency. The high efficiency of such units that can reach about 85% compared to 30 to 35% of a traditional gas turbine generator. Shown here is our current situation compared to our planned situation after installing the CHP unit. Here we can see that we have 3 boilers producing our high pressure steam, and after installing the new CHP unit, we will be able to shut down one of our existing boilers and benefit from 7.5 megawatt of electrical power. The planned date of the startup of the project will be by the end of 2022. The second project to focus on today is related to the compressed air system. Our compressed air system consists of 3 air compressors that supply our demands of compressed air. The key idea here behind this project is to replace those 3 existing compressors by 2 highly efficient compressors to reduce the specific energy consumption by about 0.09 kilowatt hour per normal cubic meter. This represents about 40% of the annual energy consumption of the compressed air system, and this will save or reduce about 1.8 kiloton CO2 per year. Here we can see a comparison between our existing situation, which is we have 2 out of 3 compressors are operated to cover our demands of compressed air, consuming about 9.2 gigawatt hour electricity per year. And by replacement of the 3 air compressors by 2 highly efficient compressors, we'll be able to cover our demands of compressed air, but consuming only 5.5 gigawatt hour of electricity or of electrical energy per year. That means we can save about 3,700 megawatt hour per year and to reduce about 1.8 kiloton CO2 per year for the second project. Finally, thank you, and I will give the floor to Dr. Muhammad Salah Eddin, hoping for fruitful presentation discussion.
Thank you again, my dear colleagues, for the informative presentation. I think I have only just small comment regarding why we have hired a consultant. That is because we did a lot of work since 2014 when we had an energy management system in place and certified according to compliance with ISO 50001. And this energy management system was mature enough, and we identified a lot of quick wins and low cost opportunities. But actually, we find that we need some evolution for this system to find more opportunities. But let me say, to have new opportunities, you need to use new tools. And this is why we hired a consultant. We hired a consultant that have applied new tools, including the benchmarking tools and also the simulation software tools. And now I will transfer to the next presentation, and it's also about having a consultant. But this time we have a consultant regarding the compressed air system optimization. We have a lot of work regarding this system optimization, and we have a lot of this with UNIDO cooperation. But actually, still we have some leakage in this network of the compressed air. And so we decided to cooperate with the team, and I invite Dr. Elvira Rakova, the managing director of the team, the collaboration platform of energy efficient pneumatics. She has a PhD in mechanical engineering in the efficiency of compressed air system, and she is ISO expert representing France in the energy efficiency of pneumatic systems. So please, I give the floor to you.
So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me for this event. So today I would like to talk about compressed air, but a little bit from a different perspective. So we developed interactive and collaborative platform where we can optimize the usage. So we saw already that CPAC is investing in new compressors. This is a very great first step. However, we need to see how the air is used and then reduce more energy consumption on that side. So, therefore, I wanted just to talk about the current challenges in industry, and because I come from the academia side, research side, but I work in industry, and I see that energy efficiency is actually very profitable. The moment company starts to invest in energy efficiency, the project costs are lower, the capacities are higher, and it's really worth it to do that. So let's see what actually companies now facing by selling new products, and I'm not talking now only about the chemical industry, but also others. So first of all is the product capacity, right? We all live in the world, we need to have faster, better machines, so we need to produce better. So then of course product pricing. So there are a lot of competitors, and I mean we need to keep it up with the competitors. Know-how. There are new materials, there are new strategies, new technologies that also can be have to be used, and always need to. And of course the sustainability. Climate change, energy crisis, so we're all here at COP27, so I don't need to tell you more about this thing. But they all have something in common, and for me, I see that the energy efficiency is actually the zero step. The moment we invest in energy efficiency, not only money, but time and know-how, the product capacity is higher, the machines are working faster, the product pricing goes down because we reduce energy consumption, so we reduce operational costs. It is also know-how and it's sustainable. So it's not something that has to be separate from the other challenges that industry has. It is actually the central for that. And let's talk now about energy efficiency trends. And this is, for example, the report from International Energy Agency. And there, for example, they say that demand avoided due to behavior, due to electrification, and very, very high rate, the demand can be reduced by the efficiency, by efficient products. And nowadays, in petrochemical industry, there is the need to reduce energy consumption from 16 gigajoule to 15 gigajoule per ton by 2050. We also see a lot of standards for development, for sustainability, and there are all countries actually are working on that, and also for digitalization. So we have challenges where each company, maintenance, energy managers, CEOs facing every day to make the product cheaper, produce more, and at the same time be competitive in the market. But at the same time, there are trends to make it sustainable, follow standards, again, hire consultants that can help it implement those efficient solutions. But very often it's considered separate. And what I think is very important, what SIPEC does, is it considers everything you want, so that the energy efficiency is actually the driver for those challenges. It's the main driver to go together in the trends. And on this part, I would like to elaborate more on what direction we would like to provide for SIPEC. So let's talk about compressed air. I know that it's sometimes not a very interesting topic, but compressed air is actually widely used. It's not only chemical industry, it's food and beverage, steel manufacturing, it's the packaging, automotive. It is used everywhere. And it is consumed 20% of all industrial consumption is consumed by compressed air systems. So this is the state of the art. A lot of guidelines, especially in Europe, are telling that we need to electrify everything and replace compressed air. But unfortunately, it's impossible. So you just cannot replace so many processes. So, but 60% from this compressed air that is used can be reduced. So we easily can reduce the consumption by 60% for most of the industries. And if we just break down this 60%, then 20% it's basic leak detection, and 40% it is reduction due to correct design. And this is our specialization, the correct design, the correct maintenance of the system, and I would like to talk to you more about this. So unfortunately, frequently, compressed air is an invisible thing, so it doesn't smell, you don't see it, it doesn't leak on the floor, you don't get any problems, it's very reliable, system can work 15, 20 years, no one will notice if something is wrong with this. And this is why we don't pay attention when we consume too much. But then when we get the bill for the compressed, we don't even get a bill for the compressed air, right? We just get the electricity bill, but when we go further, deeper in details, it's something to think about. And the system is usually divided in three parts. So we have generation, the compressor itself, we have distribution, and then we have application. And in each those kind of system, in application, distribution, and generation, there is high potential also conduction. So most of us, of course, we think compressed air means compressor. So we go and we fix compressor, what system started with, and congratulations on that. But here I came and I said you also need to check your distribution and application, how you actually use this. So, and this is a very interesting thing that I also wanted to share with you my thought about the implementation of efficient solutions, because very often we hear that we need efficient solutions. We need technology doesn't exist, we need to invest in those technologies, so a lot of things. But there are efficient solutions available on the market. So they already exist. There are many companies that develop great compressed air efficient components, but they are not implemented. So it is quite an old-fashioned industry. The technology exists like for 60, 70 years. Cylinders, valves are all the same. But this is what I call energy efficiency implementation uncertainty curve. The higher energy efficiency is usually associated with new technologies, the higher the risk is. And this is what, for example, I also face a lot of my work when we want to implement some very nice energy efficient solution. customer is afraid because it is high risk for the process. You don't know how the technology exactly works. You're not sure about it. It takes some time. Also, it takes some additional consultant maybe or additional tests to do that. And in compressor, it's exactly the same thing. So we have some, we can do the leak detection, and we're sure about it. We can use efficient components. We can use correct size components. So it's everything on the design side. But the moment we go to the efficient technologies, this is the highest implementation risk, and it's not the problem of the it's not the problem that there are no technologies in the market. It is the problem that it is very hard to implement them. And this is what we are working on in directive, that we are taking all of these energy saving measures and we want to lower this uncertainty implementation cost. So we want to make it easier for companies to reduce their energy consumption to implement those products. So now I'll show you how we do this. So first of all, we have also certain stakeholders there. So it's not just like we have an end user that has all the components. So we have this instrument suppliers. Then instrument suppliers supply to machine. So we have certain machines for the processes, and then it goes to end users, for example, for safety, right? And they all have various challenges. They all sometimes not linked to each other very well. So it's a lot of like different chains with dots that have to be connected. The first thing we have the standardization aspect. So there has to be some common standards for all the stakeholders. The information has to be transparent. So, for example, if machine supplier supplies the machine to the end user to the factory, they need to provide their own necessary information about the consumption. This is unfortunately nowadays it's not the case for compressed air, not for everyone. And end user has to also be sure on how he can improve those machines and talk with instrument suppliers, to have the links with instrument suppliers to reduce their energy consumption. So, and for us, I think there are 22 ways to implement it. First of all, we also can do it obligatory, so we can force each single company to follow some standards or develop those standards, or we can motivate them. And this is kind of a bottom-up or bottom-down approach. And here in Directing, we are experts to develop the new ISO standards. I will elaborate also on that a little bit. And we also developed a collaborative platform. So this is the software where we integrate all the energy saving measures and connect machine suppliers with also instrument suppliers. So let's talk about the ISO. This is in the ISO in development, so here you have a very nice map and countries that are working on that. This is the, I will not bother you with all the numbers and working groups. It's very boring, but I want to say that it's very interesting and fun job. I present a French committee, AFNOR, and we work very close with Germany and Japan to develop 3 ISO standards that are focused on the application. So it's not about the compressor itself, but it's exactly on the distribution line and also on the machine, on all machine side. With the older methods to explain, to give the methodological approach to instrument suppliers and machine builders and users on how to reduce the energy consumption, how to design correctly. Yeah, I forgot to tell that 90% of usage of compressed air is oversized. So this is the biggest issue also. So and the second part is of course that when the ISO will be developed, it's going to contain many pages of calculations and some boring reports that have to be provided. And on our side, Interactive will develop the software where you can optimize it. So basically using those standards, optimize it. So this is basically, we call it a collaborative platform, and this is what we're planning to apply for CPAC. And this is the can provide the model of the distribution and the application, and it contains real components not very time consuming because it's not a monitoring system, it's not yet a SCADA system, so it's a model, it's a simulation tool approach, and it gives quite nice results. So based on the standards, and it allows to evaluate the starting point for application. So it allows to evaluate the overall energy consumption of the system, and then to search for available energy efficient solution. So basically, like, this system, and then the program says this component is oversized, this component is more efficient, this is like much better. So this is kind of the simple model that helps to reduce consumption, operational consumption. And after that, we create the roadmap where we can evaluate the investment level, saving level, payback period, and some also non-energy benefits. So because there are various non-energy benefits available for the compressor, I will not elaborate more details today. But this is the basic approach, that we have some theoretical method calculations that then can be applied in the real database, real components, and real solutions. In this way, we help also the suppliers of those efficient solutions that are struggling to implement, to have it in our platform and to optimize it. So what we have the instrument suppliers inside this database that we support them, their promotion of their products. We help machine builders to design more efficient systems. We also help them to provide more efficient information, so the documentation then for the end users. And for end users, we reduce energy consumption, so because then they already have all the overview for this. And in this case, it is easier to have a full overview of the all suppliers that you have, and in our experience, it really makes then the energy efficiency profitable for the company, because companies now are more interested in implementing, developing new energy efficient solutions, and for end users it's also easier. So, and I hope for good collaboration with CFA for that.
Actually, now we can back to the panel arrangement of the Dr. Sam and Dr. Thank you for the good presentation. Actually, energy efficiency should be profitable, and I think economic factors should drive the energy efficiency measures in industry, not only the climate action, because the climate action is a result of the energy efficiency measures that would be encouraged by the business, because the business will not be encouraged by only climate action. This is the big fact. I think now I want to hear from Dr. Sam more about the challenges faced by industry. And by the way, today morning we were together in NPE side event, and they discussed that green financing could be considered, but there is some good point and also question for me. When the NPE, when they present their success, they only highlight that since around more than 20 years. Why I think that also faces challenge, and also another question, important question, why all the people only highlight that there is nothing more than that?
This is very good news for us and for my team when everybody mentioned ETAP, maybe because we are simply the best. So ETAP is one of the mature program and have been around for so many years. We are now in the third phase. We have ETAP 1, ETAP 2, ETAP 3, and as a matter of fact, we just signed during COP the letter of intent for an ETAP 4 program, but we didn't call it ETAP 4, it's GSI, which is Greener Sustainable Industry. So Green Sustainable Industry will be the fourth phase of ETAP. So going back to your question, why ETAP? What ETAP is providing and what ETAP is putting on the table for clients like SITPAC. So like I said before, ETAP presents, first of all, the financial solution. So the financial package, which includes a long-term loan at a very attractive interest rate. In addition to that, you have the effect of the grant, so you can get a grant percentage that minimize also the effective rate on the loan. So one is the financial support. Two is the technical support. As you say, you're dealing every day with our team. So we've got today Phil Jago, our technical lead manager. We've got Dr. Dania Nafla, this one's Ahmed Salim, and Ustaz Tariq Salah. They're all known to you and accessible to you. You can pick up the phone and call them every day. You know that. So what these people can do, not just the technical, but also the what I call legislative support. I think that's one of the success factors for ETAP. The fact that ETAP is based within the same building of the ministry. This allow us or allow my team to go and get things done for you. Not just technical and finance, but they can go see if there is any permit needed, if there is any environmental impact assessment, something that needs to be expedited or to be pushed. So that's what I call legislative support. You need to check something about the new regulation of the environmental law. They are very handy to answer that. So I think that is the reason for ETAP success. Now, going back to your other question, which is the challenge. I think the challenge always lay with the relationship between the end user, which in this case is SITPAC, and the lending institution or the bank. So for you to reach a level of a loan agreement, it requires a lot of paperwork. So that's a big challenge. And we heard this morning in the during the NBE, the National Bank of Egypt session, we heard that we are in the green era. So we want to minimize paperwork. We want to try to get a lot of things done, electronically, if at all possible, to minimize that paperwork. Honestly, I think for a company like SIGPAC, it's usually go faster. You are a big company, you are a well-established company, you are doing an energy efficient project, and that always goes as a credit for you. Why? Because we, as a program, we don't accept energy efficiency project unless you are already in compliance. So for us, you're already in compliance. So you زي ما بيقولوا عديت مرحله الالتزام البيئي وداخل على المرحله يعني خلصت البكالوريوس وداخل على الماجستير والدكتوراه يعني مرحله متقدمه من الديفلوبمنت. That's for us is always something plus for the bank as well. So for a company like SITPAC, I think it's always faster. I think the challenge lay always with the smaller companies, like for example the SMEs, the small and medium enterprises, when they join, and sometimes they don't have a lot of historical, strong financial credit worthiness. So that's not also, but that's always presents a challenge. So there's other challenges that, of course, we deal with on a day-to-day basis. But again, I like to make my answer very short, so I don't take a lot of airtime. And I would like to give my colleague here, my Dr. Bokra, the chance to answer your question.
Thank you, Dr. Hassan. I hope that we can have more programs for financing like that. Because as we are talking during COP27, that Africa needs more financing and more support.
Remind me to say one more thing, and it's very important. So, during this conference, under COP, the Ministry of International Cooperation, they launched the super humongous program called NUAFI. So under NUAFI will be the umbrella for all similar programs, because sometimes these programs, including us, and answer your question about challenge again, the programs that provide us support is here, and the end user are here, but they don't find each other. Like, yeah, thanks, Alhamdulillah, we know you, you know us, and that's why we are partnering together. But sometimes the end user cannot find, and vice versa. So Nuwati will be an umbrella of supportive program that make all these financial facility or financial program interact with each other. And it's really one of the pluses out of this conference. It has been signed by our Prime Minister and Ministry of International Cooperation, as well as Ministry of Environment, Dr. Steve. Thank you.
This is a good news also, and regarding the large companies like Citrix, we have the capability to invest, and but for the other SMEs and the other companies, we need more support. And when it is related to energy efficiency, actually even the large companies need to some encouragement, because we are lucky in Citrix now that we have good commitment from leadership, but it is not the common case. Actually, after the good presentation and informative presentation about investment, I need to ask a question on two parts. It is interesting to have some information about the new ISO standard. But, do you think that this ISO standard can contribute to the energy efficiency improvement and climate action accordingly? This is one part, and the other part regarding what your expectation about the benefits that will be gained by CITIC after our work today. So please.
Yes, thank you. First of all, the expectations for work with CIPTEC, so I have only positive expectations because we have a very good experience on the optimization of the demand side. As we usually say, like first switch off the light at your home, right, reduce the demand, and then already they go to the generation. We already optimized the generation side, so therefore it really helped us as a first step not to go in the downstream. But it's not only about the energy consumption, it's not only about the energy bill reduction. There are also other various multiple benefits of reducing compressed air. It's regarding safety, it's regarding the noise levels, for example, when you have a pilot. I will not go now in details, but it's also easier maintenance for the operators. So there are various multiple benefits on the optimization of this. And this is why I always tell that starting with energy efficiency, you improve then your productivity, you reduce the risks, you reduce your injury risks, you ensure the higher safety standards. So, and this is what we also expect to conduct the additional study for CPAC and actually create the roadmap, the step-by-step roadmap, because it's not only about just fixing the leak and then we will fix it 5 years later. It's about having the methodological approach on how air is used, what can be reduced, and if now you don't get financial support for the optimization, you can apply already with this roadmap in a couple of years, because this is the methodological approach how we usually take care of it, and for us it will be very interesting use case for industry.
Actually, it's very interesting for me that we use some new tools like it is not so common to use simulation for competitive.
Yes, compressed air is very underestimated, unfortunately, and it's not well studied. But you cannot usually blame maintenance energy managers for that. because it's a little bit a rare thing to take care of. There are simulation tools that are available, but they are usually very complex, so you need to get a PhD about compressed air to use them. But we used a very simple platform, and this is we developed ourselves, and then we really, it's like a puzzle. We just connect the dots, connect the elements, click on calculate, and look at this. And this is coming back to a question about the ISO standard. Um, uh, I don't know how many engineers, managers here work usually with ISO standard, but when I was myself in this situation working as an engineer for industry, and we had to design an efficient system, and you are always in a hurry, you need to produce, you need to answer the clients, you need to pick up the phone, send everything, all the information. Then comes your boss and then says, look, here is 50 pages of ISO standard, please read it and implement it. And it is hard, and this is why I understand why so many engineers usually say it is an additional, it's a bonus. Energy efficiency is a bonus. You want to make a machine greener, better, it is a bonus. But it's actually not a bonus because when you reduce energy consumption of the machine, like your productivity rate is higher. So because this is just how the physics works. This is the basic thing. And it's very important, but it's very important to have the standards, and it's very important to have this job, but we need to find a way to implement it easier. So it has to be the way to implement it, that you're reducing now the amount of paperwork, you are want to make more digitalization of your thing, right? So make it more efficient. The same thing is also for industrial sector, for engineering. So we also need to make it more efficient, and when we have simulation tools, it's nice and efficient, but we need an extra person working on that. And the same thing also with the ISO standard, we need an extra person working on that. And our idea is to make it easier. So basically what you have the ISO standard, and then you have something that automatically calculates it. So for that field. So, and I think it has to be always bottom down, bottom up approach. So we need to push industry, sorry, to make yourself sustainable and more efficient, but at the same time, we need to find the ways to help industry and to make these implementations easier. As I said, for example, about efficient solutions, because I hear it every day. We need efficient technologies. We need, Bill Gates was telling about this another day. We need efficient technologies. Um, yes, somewhere in the hydrogen and the transport, yes, but in mechanical engineering, for compressed, for heat pumps, for all this kind of things, we already have them. But we're just afraid to implement them because it can harm the process, it can change somehow. So we need to have this, we need to facilitate.
Thank you, and I think this is completely aligned with what you have said about, I think 60% of the population is based on the head design. And I hope that the new IT standard can help in this regard. Uh, uh, Now, I think before the closing, we need to have some reflections and welcome to Ahmed Hussein. I invite you to join us, please. And I know that you were having another issue, and I'm happy to have you with us. And I will talk to you because actually we are going now to make some project with UNIDO, and this project is depending on peer-to-peer, new peer-to-peer network, and this time the peer-to-peer network will not only focus on our sister companies as the previous one, but also it will expand to include our customers to working on the supply chain, and also it will expand to include other new topics, not only the energy management system as the previous one, but also regarding the system optimization. And using system optimization, we have our experts in our family, experts in this regard, but there is another section regarding the shift, the solar heating in industrial processes, and we work with Demonics to have their support in this regard for the peer-to-peer. So I would like to hear from you about your expectations about this.
First of all, thank you very much for having me, and I'm sorry for being stuck in another panel. So I think the concept here Cedric is doing, I think it is really new in the Egyptian market, and it is not being explored internationally a lot. So the idea here is Cedric is starting to make a package to help their clients in the downstream become more resource efficient, focusing on recycling, decreasing waste, improving energy efficiency. We hear a lot about companies looking at their suppliers. For example, we have projects with multinationals trying to help their suppliers improve their resource efficiency. But the idea of helping your clients in the downstream, I think it's extremely critical and important for multiple reasons. Most of the clients that will receive the support from CEDRIC are really SMEs that have been left out of the resource efficiency market. Most of the green finance facilities in Egypt do not serve really SMEs by the Egyptian definition. Of course, if we take the SMEs by European definition, we are all SMEs in Egypt, but companies here working with very small revenue are left out. We don't give them technical assistance, we don't give them audits, we don't give them loans, and they are left out of the market, and they are a big part of the industry. So this idea of the trusted supplier playing this role of a development organization and helping the client in the downstream, I think is very critical. So we are very happy to be part of this. I don't want to speak about our role in too much. I really want to put the emphasis on this. But in here, as Demonics Egypt or other consultants, we are offering Celtic has offered a standard TA package where the plastic factory can take it along with the product. Again, it's a very good concept. I expect a lot of the saving will happen. Regardless of what we think, the client taking the supply of the raw material has a big trust in this. We hope other companies follow suit, and I think this will expand the depth of the market that we are looking at. Even when they go to borrowing, when these SMEs go to borrowing, the fact that they are supplied by Celtic, strong company with a strong books and strong credit worthiness, decreases the risk in the borrowing. The fact that they are borrowing to improve the resource efficiency in technical assistance from something like Celtic, I think for the banks it will be a good shift. So I am happy to be part of it, but honestly, regardless, we were just coming as a consultant to help. This is Celtic idea, brilliant, and I hope it expands to beyond solar thermal to material recovery. In the circular plastics, sometimes the mistake happens early on at design. And by the time we reach the end where the product is there, the mistake has already happened. So I hope this, inshallah, can become a push for more circular work, and it covers all resource efficiency. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. I hope we can have a great achievement together in this regard. It's also, I have to remember, to mention our partner, the UNIDO, and Dr. Jihan Ayumi, even she's not with us today, but we have to mention her because she plays an important role in the cooperation with the industry and to give the city the opportunity to support the customers. I think it's a brilliant, as you mentioned, a brilliant idea. So anyway, I think now I will need some time for the question. If there is any question, okay.
Yeah, actually, it's not a sort of question, sort of commenting, because I have seen today, first of all, I'm Rami Saleh. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer of American Steel. I'm coming from another similar, I would say, industry, steel industry. So actually, I'm so glad that you tackled most of the challenges A great job with Cedric because everyone was just speaking about solar energy, renewable, blah blah blah, fancy things, while we're having the stuff in our hand that we haven't utilized to the best. Like our case, for example, we are producing steel rebar from scrap. So we are the lowest carbon emission ever compared with others. But who cares? I mean, if you go to the buyers because you don't have the full awareness in the whole supply chain, where you need to give awareness to educate your customers, etc. And what chemist Muhammad said at the beginning about the 44% efficiency, the first thing to do is perfect. What Jean Hussein said also about that both sides are not connecting to each other or finding each other is very important. I mean, excuse my ignorance. This is the first time, for example, to hear about the impact. It's my issue. I do believe, but still, there should be some mechanism to let other peers from the industry. There are also some other good initiatives like motors that UNIDO is working on, but still bigger challenges in other industries that is energy intensive, let's say. And again, we cannot find each other because at the time I want to do something bigger, they said that we are focusing on the motor. So thank you very much. This is what I was, trying to comment. Really very impressive panel, and what Cedric is doing is really, really very impressive. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for this comment. Actually, now I need to highlight what's behind all these achievements. So I think the commitment of leadership is a key role of this achievement. And so I invite our CEO and Chairman, Muhammad Ibrahim, to have some reflections and closing for this session.
شكرا دكتور محمد. Thank you for our dear panelists. شكرا لكم جميعا. رحلة سيرفيك بقول اتكلم بالعربي معاكم شويه. انا تعبت من الانجليش اللي انتم عمالين تتكلموه النهارده. هي رحلة سيرفيك كانت رحله للانرجي افشنسي. ما كانتش رحله ناحيه المناخ ولا رحله كلايمت تشينج. باعتبار ان احنا شركه بزنس خاص قطاع خاص يهمنا جدا الربح والخساره. بس لما تعمقنا شويه وتعلمنا شويه عرفنا ان هما الاثنين واجهين عمله واحده. الانرجي افشنسي والكلايمت تشينج مرتبطين ببعض جدا. وزي ما المهندس محمد قال لنا ان الانرجي افشنسي بيأثر بأكثر من 40% من الجرين هاوس جاز اللي بيأثر في المناخ بأكثر من 40%. لكن هنا رحلة الانرجي افشنسي كانت رحلة مهمة جدا. اتعلمنا على ايدين ناس ربنا يكرمهم يعني اضافوا لنا كتير سبيشال اليونيدو منظمة اليونيدو. انا بذكر هنا الدكتورة داليا نحو انها اول كونسلتنت في سيرفيك واحنا بنشكرها جدا. اضافت لنا كتير وكون ان احنا اطلعنا على مايندز اخرى مش افكارنا وبس، لا افكار ناس ثانيه وعلم ناس ثانيه. جابوا ناس اجانب علمونا، احنا ما كناش نعرف الطريق خالص، هم رسموا لنا الطريق وعلمونا وبدانا خطوات وعملنا اتشيفمنت كويس في البدايه وحققنا شويه اوبورتيونيتيز كويسه حققناها وعملنا سيفنج كويس. لكن كان لحظه فارقه ان كان لازم نبتدي بقى نصرف على الانرجي اللي احنا بدأناه مع شركة كيلسي. ودي كانت البداية لأن احنا نتعرف على ناس ثانية أضاف لنا كتير من الناس بتوع الإيفاء أضاف لنا كتير واتعلمنا كتير. والحمد لله يعني احنا شغالين مع بعض في مشروع يعني أنا بعتبره بداية مهمة والإنرجي حقيقية، مش مجرد إن أنا براجع شغلي بس، لا أنا بطور شغلي وبحسن شغلي وبحسن أدائي وبحسن وبحسن كمان افكاري في اي مشروع جديد يبدا. ان انا ما ببتديش اي بدايه وبس، لا ببتدي افشل وده يوفر عليا كتير من البدايه. فانا بشكركم حضراتكم جميعا على وجودكم معانا النهارده. انا بعتبر ده احتفاليه بالانرجي افشنسي في سيرفيك. بحضور كل الداعمين ليه، بدءا من اول كونسلتنت لينا الست الدكتوره داليا نخله، والحاج الدكتور حسام، والحاج الدكتوره جهان بيومي اللي هي مش موجوده معانا لكن ادائها موجود معانا. فانا بشكركم حضراتكم جميعا. بشكرك دكتور احمد الكونسلتنت بتاعنا حاليا للشركات الكاستمرز بتوعنا، وده التوجه بتاعنا ده عشان احنا لقينا اللي يدعمنا فقررنا ندعم غيرنا. انا بشكركم جميعا. زي ما بقول لحضراتكم بعتبر في احتفاليه لليله سبيشال. شكرا جزيلا على وجودكم، شكرا لحضوركم.